I mean, it's really important for us to remember our history. You know, unless you're one of the first Americans, you came from someplace else.
I know who I am and I know who I'm not. Sustaining every day through the power of Ra. USA, America got cowards for cops. They wanna rain on my parade and shower with shots. I learned it all a long time ago. What you think I'm rhyming for? Indigenous to the land like Geronimo.
It's just sad that all black people are not from Africa, just like all white people are not from Ireland, but we can't separate ourselves from what we're told in books. It's really sad.
Let me explain. The current American education states African Americans were brought to America as slaves from Africa, which is simply not true. They are American indigenous.
What it was, it's an African Heritage Foundation chartered out of England with all white members. And their thing was to write a history where they to make a continental black person to take away from the global black person.
Understand that the 12 tribes of Israel is an allegory for the scattered tribes of the melanated Aboriginal indigenous peoples. Okay, we used to be one land mass. It was called Pangea, and over thousands of years it has separated.
Because you can see how America and Africa fit together like a puzzle. I even went so far as one day to cut out this edge on the map and cut out this edge of the map and bring the two together, and they fit together perfectly, except for there's a space right in the middle where Atlantis would have been at. And their scientists will tell you that, oh, them continents, they separated millions and millions and millions of years ago. There was no humans around at that time. We're talking about these things taking place as recently, the last of these things taking place as recently as 1500 BC. This scientists would love you to have you to believe this whole gradual evolution, you know, the continents separating 1 inch per year type of thing. We're talking about major catastrophes that took place. And I'm going to get into this at a later date. I want to do a lecture on just showing you how the actual foundations of this whole European world order has been totally destroyed already by their own scholars. But these scholars, they put in the background because they don't want you to know about them. And one of them name is Immanuel Velikovsky, and I want to talk more about him. But he gets to this whole cataclysmic thing about this planet and the different cataclysms that took place as recently dealing with the planet Venus. We think planet Venus has always been there. Planet Venus was a comet that at one point came so close to Earth, it caused the destructions that took place, and then it settled in the orbit that we now see as Venus. And this was symbolized as Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent, the flying fiery serpent was symbolized in Venus when it came very close to the Earth. And different things in the Bible and Exodus about the plagues and all that stuff mentioned in the Bible confirm this cataclysm that took place. But I'm going to save that for another lecture. Here we have another map, because the elders always taught us that all the original places, all of them was original places and place names of places over here, and was at a later date transferred overseas to confuse us, because when the European came to power, what he did was change up chronology and geography, or the time-space coordinates to disorientate us. So we don't know where we at.
The slave trade never happened?
Who said that? I told you the slave trade started with Native Americans being brought to England. That's what I said. I never said that. You know what I'm saying? The Africans that eventually were brought here, you know what I mean? They were brought here because they couldn't enslave us anymore. You understand? Why? Because you can't enslave a man in his own home. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you right now, all these inventions, they give credit to African Americans. Ain't no African gonna come to the Americas and tell you when to plant your stuff. It's a science you gotta study. It ain't the same over there as it is here. You gotta know the land, right? So all these achievements that we ascribe to African Americans, these are achievements by Native Americans who had to take on the identity of being African American because they was hanging us. But you think they was hanging people because they was Africans. Africans just want to go home. Nigga from here want to take his shit over.